research. That is the only way you can publish your paper in that journal. So
I agree with you. Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, if you want to hold the view that I will discredit results based on funding, then you need to discredit all of the funded results in favor of your opinion as well, because there are many, right? There are many funded papers on Diet Coke.
Funded by who?
Funded by the Diet Coke industry or whatever the low-calorie industry.
Yeah.
That have shown negative impacts or associated with weight gain or associated with an increased risk of cancer or cardiovascular disease, right? There are, trust me, as someone that does research for a living, right, and is going to publish papers himself, there are papers that are funded that show they show for and against, right? It's just the ones that are covered in the media tend to be of a certain type, because that's what generates the most clicks and views.
Well, we can look at it. We can do that. But I think this is important too to consider, because as Love's original point was that, well, we used to have studies saying cigarettes were healthy.
That's simply not true.
Okay, well, maybe
we never had to the same extent. For example, aspartame is the most heavily studied food additive in existence.
Well,
right?
You got to remember, I'm not
hundreds.
denying the science. I'm just this.
Yes. If a researcher is being paid to do the research, there are many protocols in place that can protect that researcher from having to publish a biased result. Right? So there are lots of these things, and that's obviously researchers have to make a living, so they have to get funding from somewhere, right? And any, researcher that has integrity, that has trodden that path multiple times, they know how the process works, and they can easily formulate documents with their research team and be like, look, thank you for the offer to fund this research study. I'm going to tell you now, when you sign this, whatever the results show, we will publish it, whether that's for or against you, right? And lots of journals require this, and lots of researchers require this. So I think just the logic that people go, funded by Diet Coke, or funded by big seed oil, or funded by, tobacco industry, that you can't just negate findings based on funding body. That's all I'm trying to say.
But was there ever one of these, like, okay, maybe cigarettes is a bad one, but like seatbelts or something, there's got to be a vertical where there was some funding that suggested
what
it
about
was fine when it wasn't. Back then, during those studies, were these
protocols isolating?
Were the protocols the same back then, or were they looser?
No. So very good point. And I will say that because every single person now that has access to a phone or a computer has access to read these studies themselves, right? Many are free to read the whole thing through, and at the very least, you'll be able to read the abstract, right? This was not widespread 20, 30 years ago, right? People and organizations and academics and scientists and doctors, they almost had like secret knowledge that the layperson did not have access to, right? So I do agree that back then, before the age of, publicly available research databases, PubMed, anyone that has access to a computer and knows how to type words will be able to find research studies on pretty much anything now. Yeah. So this makes it far easier for people to call out obviously biased research and to call out people that are making false claims based on the research that they think they're reading. Right?
So you're saying back then these research articles were just bogus? Just
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if someone wanted to, and if they had an agenda, you would be able to spin a narrative easier back then.
Okay.
Because information wasn't as publicly available. Now, any person, Love went and looked at those studies, right? 30 years ago, he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Right.
Okay? So that's why you kind of had to almost trust like the organizations or like trust these researchers, right? Now you don't have to trust me. I literally showed you the graph of the 17 individual randomized control studies showing a benefit for low-calorie drinks compared to sugars.
Now I want to dispel the skepticism. What we should do, love, not right now, obviously, but let's get down and dirty with the 17 studies. Let's tally them up. Let's see who, because, you know, I want to break through to love. We can't break through to him, Dr. Ids.
So I've already, so even if
I
you
hear
look,
what you say, though. I do.
no, let me just clarify. Even if you looked at all of the 17 individual studies in that meta-analysis by McLean, yeah, as I've already mentioned, it was published in JAMA, right? And they have stringent protocols already in place. So regardless of funding body, you can't dismiss the evidence based on that anyway.
Right.
But if you wanted to, just for the sake of, because you want to, that's fine.
Because he has a skeptical mind, Dr. Id.
That's fine.
There's an issue here, though.
That's fine.
I'm not arguing that what the studies themselves say. I'm arguing that there's a bigger bias where more studies are being done for X and not. For example, I found one study where it said fake sugar is bad, right?
Yeah.
And then Coke came, or the shell company that they all use, came and funded a bunch of scientists to debunk it. For example, like $2 million or something like that. And would that have been done the other way around? Would there come someone else and put $2 million into researchers for someone else to?
Well,
the other way
you
around?
have to think. Well, you have to think about, you know, what is the incentive for publicly funded organizations to fund that £2 million of research? Like what is the incentive?
Oh yeah, they're
As in,
funded
I'm saying, you're saying, would that have been done the other way around? I'm asking you, if you were a government and you had X amount of money, would you bother using tens of millions of pounds just to, you know, make more research with the...
Sometimes not. Both of the researchers that you said, and for example, that stevia causes change in your microbiome, and aspartame changes your mood. Things that you have not negatively, it causes depression.
Yeah.
Both of these things you have never mentioned. I think
I have. No, I have.
But not on our show, right?
Oh, no. Oh, no, I did. I think one of the first times I mentioned if you're predisposed to having episodes of low mood, there are some small randomized control trials showing that people who consume a lot of aspartame, that might exacerbate their periods of low mood. And I think that was a 2014 study off the top of my head. But then again, you have to look at, once again, you have to also remember that findings can also happen. Findings can also happen due to chance. Right?
Hold on, is Diet Coke making me sad?
No, that's not. That's not what I'm saying.
When consuming high aspartame
It's an artificial
diet,
sweetener.
Okay.
it's in Coke, yeah.
Well, what about sucralose? Do we like sucralose? Does that one make me sad?
My friend, all of them can be grouped together, and I'm perfectly happy saying, for the vast majority of people, all of the non-nutritive sweeteners are perfectly safe, right? You have to remember dosage, frequency, and the overall context of what else is going on in your life are also important. Just because I say something is safe, that doesn't mean you find a kilogram of the powder and you start inhaling it.
So,
which is what Water Talk is
can
doing,
I ask you
apparently.
a quick follow-up?
Yes.
You said it was a small trial, right? So
yes, there have been a couple of small trials.
We would want to research that more.
Yes.
Do you think Coke would have funded doing more research into that?
Oh, absolutely. They do that all the time.
See, why would they do that?
Because we need, so number one, we need more data, number one. And number two, because when the evidence is kind of like, we're not really sure, right? One of the big multi-conglomerates or one of the major billion-dollar companies, they'll be like, you know what? We don't really know. People are becoming confused. Let's just firm this one way or the other, right? Because if it turns out that aspartame, you know, majorly increases your risk of major depressive disorder, right? You know what they'll do? They'll change their formulation after all the headlines catch like wind of it. So
that's
actually,
what they did with the cyclamate, right? In the 70s.
So actually, it's in their interest to fund it, because then they're not going to get the backlash later on.
Well, as you use as an example, cigarettes, weren't all those companies sued for basically lying about the health benefits of cigarettes? Like, a lot of them have a huge liability of misleading people about the you know,
And
the
as they
health
should,
effects
as
of
they
using
should.
it.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Coke wants to know to
Yes.
better assess their liability.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Coke
Yeah, of
has
course.
done that multiple times in history. Like in the 70s, they used cyclamate instead of, I don't know if it was instead of aspartame, but there were some studies that came up. It's cancerous, and they stopped using it, at least in America. They still use it in some parts of the world.
Yeah, and also remember that these funded papers also influence, you know, health policy, whether you know the EFSA, so the European Food Safety Authority, or the FDA, whether they ban certain ingredients, whether they ban certain, you know, compounds, where you have to force industry to change with the regulations. That's actually a good thing for these big companies. They would rather know earlier than after, you know, 15 years of questionable research, and then, you know, them losing market share because you've got Tom, Dick, and Harry wellness guru being like, stay away from Diet Coke because they still use this like questionable artificial sweetener. It's not in their interest to you know, to include questionable ingredients in their products.
Sure.
Because they lose.
I see your point. We're at the same page at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so I think
I
look,
brought up some stuff I thought was interesting, and
it was love.
You
I gotta
answered
say,
it
I
very
was.
well.
It was interesting. Damn.
What I would actually argument with all this topic is we all know that big companies need to make money. And I have a feeling, obviously I don't know exactly what the measurements are, but I have a feeling that a Diet Coke is cheaper to produce than a regular Coke with real sugar.
Interesting.
Yeah, probably.
That's for me for sure
That's
something why
That's a good point.
as well these big corporations pushing into this whole diet idea, because they're saying, hey, listen, we need to make money. Let's be honest here. It's all about money in the end.
sure.
So
Fantastic
therefore,
points.
for them, it's I
Love
think
is love now.
easier to push that
Love is love.
into this idea of let's put studies been done, let's have the data there that Diet Coke is maybe safer than non-artificial sweetener. And they
Yes.
will actually smile at that. They will love that idea of, okay, now let's drink all the Coke Zero and Diet Coke. Obviously, I don't know. I don't have the studies there. I don't know. But from a just standpoint there, it's for sure harder to source real sugar and to put it into a factory than to
Ask
create
ChatGPT.
a
The cost
cocktail
difference
of
between
some
Diet Coke,
artificially flavors.
So yeah, very,
Definitely.
very good point. I'm not sure how the health economics or the opportunity cost between
We're gonna find out.
high fructose corn syrup in the US. I know that's very cheap. We use something
true.
similar. We have glucose fructose syrup, and we have normal just like sucrose as well. I think that high fructose corn syrup is exceptionally cheap in the US. I might be wrong, but I'm
No,
not
you're
sure.
right. It is.
I'm not sure the health economics
It's
compared to
practically
that, but
free here.
yes. But what I would say is that you have to remember that, you know, it's not just about the money, even though that is the major component. The other point is about the legality and the liability side, where if it turns out in 10 years' time that Diet Coke have been harming people with these compounds, massive lawsuits
With
in
a
the
price
ways,
motive? Oh yeah, that'd be bad.
in the ways of 50 hundreds of millions of pounds they could easily lose, right? So they don't want to be intentionally harming people. That is not in any
I
big
agree with you.
organization, right? So I think this whole like narrative that I get in my comments a lot,
Well, if
where
that's
it's like,
true, then why is every time I call Comcast, every time there's a fucking, you know, increase in my bill, they just give me the runaround? No, sorry, I'm just kidding. I think that we've gone places, haven't we?
I've learned
Yeah.
a lot today.
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
Hila, can
You know-
I get your view?
I feel like Dr. Ids, you are very informative, and I feel like I have been persuaded.
Ooh, that's big for me.
Okay. That is big for you.
That's the most important person.
Right.
to persuade.
I think that the studies we looked at were really powerful, and I feel like Love is raising really good points, but I see it from your perspective, because in real life, unfortunately, things are very expensive and they do need to be funded. But also, like you are saying, I'm sure there's so many levels to make a study legit. Like you said, you know, there's criteria they need to meet and checkpoints, whatever it is. Obviously, I've never done one, but I'm sure there's so many. So I think that I'm a person of like trust the organization, or trust the scientists who studied it their whole life, that they're doing what's best. So
I will say, based on our research here, just to address your point, that it is in general less expensive to produce Diet Coke, for whatever that's worth.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably simply because the volumes you need are like to the fold of 200 times less, right? So like per drink, because it's obviously 200 times sweeter, you need then obviously 200 times less. So yeah, probably.
Right, that makes sense.
So so in short, listen, we're water club. We can all agree on one thing. Water talk is demonic.
We did all agree on that.
Yeah, we all agree on that.
My flavored water, what I brought today.
I want to try it.
I really want to try what you brought.
It's a real story. So I'm not making that up. This real flavored water comes from a 700 feet deep well. It's sourced by the German Alps from Munich. And it takes around 12,000 years from rainwater to come to this well.
It's got a special
Age to perfection.
And this very beautiful flavored water is called beer in Germany.
What?
Oh!
That is what it is.
Wait,
Because beer
what?
is 95% water.
I see.
And they're actually using that source, what I just
This man just whipped out a 4.
So Hefeweizen, this one pill, or like this beautiful Hefeweizen Paulaner is a great flavored water.
Let's go!
What I drink as a hydration when I'm at the airport, because most of the time the selection at airports sucks when it comes to water.
Wow.
That is the water I drink.
That's a party. And this we drink cold, right, Martin?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
it cold. I have ice packs filled up here because
Oh my
I thought I want to have it
he's
nice
always
and chilled.
prepared. I love
Wow.
this man.
Wow. What a gracious guest. Wow, thank you. This is your favorite, or just one?
Yeah, that's a great beer. It's just a
Hefeweizen.
very, very good beer.
So, thank you guys both. I'm gonna have to. We should get some cups and pass this around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's all try it.
Nice and that's very cold.
Oh yeah.
We drank beer.
We drank beer. Thank you everybody for a lively debate, a great, respectful, illuminating debate.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Love came with some very interesting points, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Although
I've not heard from AB.
I don't know why everyone just counted me out of this, but I'm glad I'm not taking no heat. So.
No,
We want to hear you.
Yeah.
not until now.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly I need to ask just a sensitive question because it's rude of me not to check on your progress since the last time we spoke about a sensitive issue.
Oh.
Is your soldier doing okay?
Thanks, Doc. Yes, I appreciate it.
Okay.
It's okay.
We're good.
AB,
We're good.
AB snapped his dick, for those who don't know the details.
Okay.
Martin, AB was having sex with his wife in the shower, and the dick
Good for him.
crushed in half. And so he had major bruising, and Dr. Ids was consulting us on the issue, right, AB?
Yeah.
Can I get a concluding remark from AB on his views on the diet drink?
Yes,
malarkey?
please,
Yeah,
AB.
no, I'm with you, Doc. I think I'm with Love in that he was just trying to prove the point that it's him being skeptical. Like there is a reason for him to be skeptical, which is pretty much what he was, trying to get across. Because last time we got roasted, saying that I bet Love and AB are anti-vax and a bunch of other shit. That's just insane. But I think Love presented a really good case as to why it's okay to be skeptical about the stuff. This is not COVID. It's something completely different.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
And let me just say quickly before I have to go. Basically, if
Do a new poll.
listen, yeah. If I have no problem saying if you would rather stay away from low-calorie drinks, I'm not saying you should just go and drink low-calorie drinks, right? I'm saying that you don't need to be scared of them, and the totality of data shows they're perfectly safe. These things have been studied in the ways of hundreds, I'm talking hundreds of individual research papers, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to live my life based on the data. That's how I live my life. I'm not scared of any single ingredient. I will happily consume any food once or twice, right? I know, because I understand toxicology, I understand that you're not going to get cancer from eating something once.
Have you eaten the hot chip?
Right?
Martin?
A what?
The spicy chip? Have you done the hot chip challenge?
The hot
Oh,
chip
no,
challenge.
no. I
You
can't-
should do that on our show.
I can't handle too much spice. I can't lie.
Oh.
I can't lie. Yeah, I can't lie.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Dr.
sorry
Ids,
to
I
interrupt.
want to thank you for dealing with me once again.
No.
I hope most of the viewers realize this is pretty much me asking you questions and
Yes,
you're answering, and most of the times you.
I would not even
very-
call it a debate. I would call it a very nice discussion. We had a lovely discussion.
Lovely.
Now, just to put a pin in this, last time after our conversation, the audience was still split as to if artificial sweeteners were totally wrong or not, totally safe or not. Last time, I believe they even swung saying they're still skeptical. This time, we did the poll. Artificial sweetener. Maybe it's a bad poll.
Bad poll. Yeah, bad poll. It should be skeptical.
It should say artificial sweetener, safe, or I'm still skeptical.
Well, I guess.
Oh my Lord.
Or you could say safe or harmful. Safe or harmful.
I think this is fine.
Okay, so.
But harmful is so aggressive.
Yes. Well, according to that poll, 60% said safe, which is a massive progress over our last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cheers, by the way. Thank you, Martin.
Well done.
Cheers.
Intelligent.
Cheers.
Clearly, you guys have an intelligent audience.
Oh,
The
we
water.
do.
Well, we'll see when we reword it.
Right.
How intelligent they are.
Because I don't think it's bad for you. I'm just
I love it.
skeptical.
Oh
Yes,
my
it
god.
is.
Awesome, huh?
That is so good.
Artificial sweetener.
Wait, that
So
tastes
what
really
is-
good.
What is this called again?
It's a Hefeweizen, so it's a wheat beer.
Oh, I
Wheat beer.
love wheat beer. Let's
So
go.
That's awesome
Wait, why does that taste so good?
because it's German.
Because it's
We
German.
taste
They know
good.
what's up over there.
I usually don't like the taste of beer at all,
Yeah.
all
Oh,
the
But
time.
This is great.
This is like
But this
actually
is like
good.
Like the
Sweet.
sweet banana flavors.
smooth. Damn,
Wait.
Martin.
This is delicious.
Not so good. What's
Holy shit. Love it.
If you guys are wondering the
Yeah.
brand,
Hold on, it's one of the
Half-Weizen?
very, very famous beer brands in Germany.
Excellent.
you can buy
say
this
it
out
again?
here.
Munich. You can buy it at
Half-Weizen?
John's here in America.
With the
John's,
water aged
J-O-N.
for 12,000 years?
Yeah, really. Like it's
No, I believe you.
rainwater. It's like the story what I just said was all true.
Yo,
They're sourcing the well water from the Alps under Munich,
Is
700 feet deep.
Is it like expensive compared to other
No.
beers? No.
I paid $8.99 for 4 cans.
it's a slightly premium
Little.
price.
Yeah, you have to get it into America as well.
Right.
obviously.
The
So
import is a
therefore,
lot.
It
Yeah.
costs you a little bit more, but I think you're getting a great quality.
That is the best, Martin. You always come in with the facts and receipts, the best
I love
flavors
it.
of liquids.
Yeah.
I like
Alright.
to give love.
One more time here. Artificial sweetener, safe or still
you.
skeptical? Let's do that. 60% coming in
About the
still
same. I think
saying
the original
safe.
poll wasn't a bad poll. I think we had a good poll on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
The numbers are the same, so it was a good poll. Dr. Iz, we made some incredible
I'm
progress
gonna
here
tell
today.
you what I'm voting.
Thank you, Dr. Id.
Safe.
This is incredible. Hila's out here.
It's my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
And so let's say it together. Fuck the World Health Organization.
No,
Wait, but
I
he
can't
works
say
for
I
them.
can't
He's
say
not.
No. I don't
No.
I don't work for them. I've literally had
Okay.
a few emails being like, "Oh, we'd love you to be on our, misinformation committee where you help us debunk information."
Okay.
I said yes, but now I have to also be like, "Guys, I don't really accept your phrasing. I think it's a little bit misleading." So that's what I've tried to clarify today.
There it is. To yellow beverage.
The yellow beverage.
All right, thank you very much, guys. I need to head off now.
All right.
Okay.
But I will just say, Ethan, if you don't mind, I just have a cheeky little plug for myself, if that's all right.
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. So if people are, any academics, professionals, health enthusiasts, anyone that's interested in the more higher level scientific breakdowns, like a little bit kind of what I got into today, just a little bit. I have just opened my online school about a month ago, where I do professionally recorded, more in-depth scientific breakdowns of a lot of these topics.
Oh, cool.
So if you're interested, then check out, my links. I have my website on there as well. So that's for people that really
Wait, what's
want,
it called?
it's called the School of Dr. Iz.
Ah,
Man has
School
a
of Id.
school now.
Yeah.
Doctor, if you have a link, send it to Olivia, and I'll add it to the description of the episode for you.
Oh, amazing! Thank you so much.
You got
yeah,
it.
thank you so much.
Excellent. I heard the first iteration, Hustler University, got vetoed. School of Dr. Iz is better.
I think it's a little more rooted in evidence compared to that.
Okay, good.
So-
Thank
All
you,
right,
Doctor.
cheers. Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Lovely to meet everyone. Martin, thank you very much.
Thank you
Love,
so much,
baby.
Doctor. Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
I gotta say, Love impressed me today.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was
I
very
didn't know what
good.
to expect, but you brought some heat.
Yep.
You had him sweating there for a minute.
I think, I last time I kind of had this argument, I tried to argue the fact, which obviously I can't do. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, so try to find a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
Were you playing that chef or was it Ian?
Ian, right?
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
Okay.
Nope.
So, Martin, do you need to leave? Are you in a hurry?
Yeah, I need to go to Gwen and
Yeah, I had a
serve a little bit my guests.
I had a feeling.
Coming over.
All right.
So, but let's talk. I would love if it's okay for us all to come visit you. There. That'd
Yeah,
be
please,
super-
please.
that'd be awesome.
Always come over. And again, like I cannot thank everybody enough here from the audience as well. You're the real superstars, obviously.
That's right.
And it's always fun to see all the comments on my social and getting referred obviously to the H3 podcast. So thank you so much for all the amazing love. And this is family, obviously.
Yeah.
Family.
It is. What a great episode. So you can go ahead. I know you're in a hurry.
Thank you
But,
for
well,
the
Cheers.
beer.
Thank you again.
We'll be in touch, and I'm really excited actually to come check out Gwen. So
Me too.
that's great. That's exciting. And the water drips are. That's basically
drips
the
are
end of my
dripping.
diarrhea.
Oh, stop.
That's what it sounds like.
Disgusting.
It's what it is.
It's disgusting.
Those are the kind of drips that get back up on your ass too. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
stop it. Stop.
I know exactly what those
Stop
sound
it.
like.
Please.
We're all enjoying
Hey,
a
what's
beautiful
the
beer.
TE of diarrhea, Martin?
What's the
What do you dissolve?
DHS?
What do you call it? Dissolved parts per. What's the acronym? TDS.
TDS.
Let's be honest, guys.
What's-
I never checked the TDS of my diarrhea, and I will
Okay.
never do it. I
Okay.
had to drink once at
Probably
the Bill
pretty
Nye
high.
show. At the Bill Nye show, I had to drink
Oh.
urine of the astronauts of the International Space Station.
Oh,
You
you
did
really?
that?
You can check it out right now on Netflix.
Wait, you were in Bill
What?
Nye?
On the Bill Nye show.
Oh no
first.
way!
Whoa.
And they gave me the astronaut water, and this is the water what they're obviously drinking it out of space.
How is
Yeah.
it?
And it's very heavy to bring water obviously up there. So they brought once water up there, and now they're recycling and recycling and recycling it all over again. So that means they're collecting their sweat, shower water, and urine, purifying it, and then drinking it again. That almost, and it's now strange to say, it was super sweet on my palate.
Ew.
That water. And it smelled like a dentist office. Like when you walk into a dentist office, that was the smell of that water. It was disgusting, guys.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, my
One more reason
Lord.
for me not to go out of space.
Let's stay away from space.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for
meeting you.
coming, dude. I hope so.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll be
definitely
there.
there. We'll hopefully
Yeah.
see you there, buddy. And appreciate y'all so much. Martin's the man. I mean, who doesn't love Martin? The water god.
Yeah.
Poseidon. I'm gonna start calling you Poseidon.
We have a Poseidon statue of Martin in that background. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, I
is that
didn't.
what
Wait,
it-
pull it up again.
Yeah,
Oh
if
my
you, if
God.
you look at the,
I didn't even notice.
Take a look.
that's
we-
Martin in the background as
That's funny.
as the god of the ocean, god of the sea.
You are Poseidon.
Yeah, right there. There he is.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Love
you.
ya. Martin's the man. We love Martin. Dr. is the man too. What a show. See, people were complaining about our Babble and Preach one being like, oh, just one topic. Now we brought it all down to science. He said he was laughing that we're intellectual. Well, I guess we are. Dude,
Fakes you.
hear that?
I am so sorry. I've been working on it.
Put some
Promise by next
carpets
week.
down. Something.
All right. Well, how long we been going, Dan?
Just about 3 hours.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz.
Is there anything else we wanted to hit on before we go?
So we could probably save. I mean, all of this is fairly evergreen, I would say. We've got a bunch of excuse. Let me see if was there any of the goofs and gaps that we really wanted to cover.
Oh God.
This beer is fantastic.
That is the
That
best
was
beer I've
good.
ever
That's
had.
one of the
I
best
think.
beers I've ever.
Yeah.
It tastes like sweet and nice and smooth. What's the percentage on this one? Alcohol percent.
beef jerky.
Oh, it's 5.5. Tastes a lot like beef jerky.
Oh, we do have that clip of Fuzi. Speaking of tastes like beef jerky.
Oh, we should do that.
Can we-
Also,
can we
I
just
want to
watch
show the
that?
rug since
Right.
a wonderful
Yeah.
journalist wrote an article about our beloved Hila.
Yeah.
She's here with us today.
So, Morgan from Fashionista is here.
Can you
She flew out here to do an interview with me yesterday.
Hi.
Hello.
Morgan and her boyfriend who brought us delicious. Oh, husband?
Husband? Yeah.
Husband?
Yeah, husband.
You put a ring on it, huh?
Yeah, I got
Good
the
for
ring
you.
on it.
Who brought us the greatest donuts I've ever had.
They are so good.
Insane, but
Shout out Mochi Nut.
Yeah,
Mochi
mochi
nut.
donuts for those that are
Okay,
familiar.
okay.
but you guys brought us a rug, right?
So it's a
Yeah.
gift from Morgan's friend. I'll let you explain.
Is it
better.
here? I haven't seen
It's
it.
in the other office right now.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But yes, it is here.
It's in the Teddy Fresh
Yeah.
office. Yeah, check this out.
Makes sense.
It's probably copyrighted music. Eh?
Probably.
Yes.
Put something funky on.
Oh,
for his-
he's got that.
Funky, yeah, no.
He got that Bye Mom, Hi Mom shirt on. Yo, those carpet guns are so sick.
So cool.
Is this what he does? Is he a carpet maker?
Yeah, they own a design company called Baker Hill Design, which is their Instagram. So yeah, they just tuft rugs. This is the first one they've done with the design where they pull it out.
Dude, that is freaking
So very
sick.
innovative.
What the
So
F?
cool.
That's so sick.
Yeah. Brit designed
So I'm gonna
it,
do
as
that.
you saw on the iPad.
Yo.
Put it up on the wall like that.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. We definitely got to put that on the wall.
Yeah.
So talented. This is Baker Hill Design. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
They're like a fancy name for a carpet maker, like how like a cobbler is like a shoemaker. Is there, like,
Carpenter. I'm kidding.
Carpenter.
Yo, look at the. That's pretty funny. Look at these other ones. We got Kirby Dreamland up in this bitch.
Oh, that's cool.
We got
So
this one's
good.
for Olivia. She's not here.
Not here.
These are awesome.
Wow,
Good
this
for
one's
that.
crazy.
Super talented Baker Hill Design. There it is.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So one last thing. Ian was streaming, and then we captured this great moment. Here it is. Fusi Tube. We got some news drops from Fusi, thanks to Ian.
Really?
Some foot soldiers got in Fusi's chat and started saying some silly stuff, and we got some new drops.
Oh
You guys
my
are gonna love this.
God.
Thank you, Ian.
I didn't know even that he's streaming.
I didn't know that about Fusi. No, I didn't know that.
Raid, H3 raided people saying, nah, it was Mr. Worldwide Wasted.
Shout out.
Got the name wrong.
It's not quite the
Mike
name,
is a
but close
clown,
enough.
you're a king. We are here for vibes.
Why is he reading
I
like
felt
that?
gay. Tastes
Oh.
like beef jerky. I
He said it. He said the thing.
So wait, now we have the new drops, right, Zach? You pulled those? Let me.
felt gay. Tastes like beef jerky.
Dude,
Oh my God.
those are gonna
Worldwide
be.
wasted.
By the way, our fans are the best. They weren't being
Yeah.
mean. You know what I mean? They're being
Well,
nice.
My
We are
understanding
here
is
for
after this happened, he banned the word gay in his chat.
Oh.
Oh.
I felt gay.
I
He
can
probably thought he was
understand.
getting trolled, but it
Yeah.
really wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
all
love.
good fun. Yeah.
I love that. My favorite is the I.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah. He's just like, cool.
I felt gay. Tastes like beef jerky.
Alright.
He's with it.
Alright.
He's
gotta be so
Alright, what's up, y'all?
Why not? I love that. I
I felt gay.
I know
Oh my God.
Tastes like beef jerky. Worldwide wasted. I.
Yeah. So, well, it's 4:30. I guess we got to wrap it up. It's been about 3 hours, eh?
3 hours on the dot.
Went by fast.
Good. Lots going on here. Hold on. Let me see if I got my apology yet from Babel and Reach, because he said it would be in one day. Didn't he say that?
That's him laughing.
He said, I'll be out here one day. Wait, how come the channel doesn't show up?
Wow.
Why doesn't the channel show up?
Because their name isn't Babel and Reach.
Oh, it's not? Wait, what is it?
Fender and Rich.
Abba and
Peaches and cream, actually.
no, I denounced
Peaches
that.
and cream.
I denounced that. Apparently, the small ball they took is from like a
Sex shop.
adult superstore in New Zealand or something. Plagiarist.
I thought it was fun. They embraced me.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. But 6 hours ago, and I don't believe this included an apology for me. So. By the way, you see what happens when they create. Look at their views here. 500,000, 500,000. Oh, Ethan threatens us. 1.2 million.
Yeah.
And now these bitches ain't going to respond.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe they're fixing their floor first.
Maybe they let them cook, you know?
Yeah.
Cooking up the...
They said one day. They'd be out here apologizing.
Maybe he was being a little hyperbolic.
Okay.
It's a holiday weekend. We'll give him...
It is Memorial. It is Memorial. And he did serve in the military, too.
That's right. Although...
Well, he didn't die.
In Canada.
He didn't
and
die.
And also he didn't die.
Yeah, Memorial Day is for our fallen brave soldier. You didn't die.
Aye.
All right, chill, Pussy.
Chill, Pussy.
Yeah, but taboo stuff. I'm sure whatever they talked about, it was taboo.
Taboo.
That's my favorite subject. Taboo. Except on this one.
What?
That's a taboo subject. I don't know why I said that. So we will not be here on Monday. We're all taking the holiday to memorialize all the great soldiers from the Civil War.
Sit up, everyone.
All the way up to Afghanistan. And not the Independence War, because Nebraska. Well, we can honor them.
Wait, why?
It's not Nebraska.
You mean the Civil War?
No.
You call it the War of Independence? Are you Confederate?
No, no, bro. The one against Britain.
Oh,
we got to honor them too.
Right. No, of course. Why wouldn't we? Yeah.
Because, well, in Nebraska, we're just honoring the people in Nebraska.
Because Nebraska didn't exist, to be fair.
Yeah. Shout out to all the brave warriors. Thank you for your service.
Sorry, Doctor, for honoring the Revolutionary War.
Yes. Thank you for your service. Sorry about not having health care for you. Sorry about the burn pits. But the good news is we'll be putting a tiny little toothpick flag on your grave. So that'll make it all better. You seen those little flags they do?
Yeah, of course.
It's like a little toothpick with the American flag. They're like, I have lung cancer from burn pits. They're like, no. When you die, you get the toothpick. So we're a generous country, and we really care about our soldiers out here. We got a whole day. Celebrate them. Huge mattress sales, too, coming out to honor our brave fallen soldiers. IHOP's got deals.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wrong flag.
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Now's the perfect time to head on over to Sit and Sleep. Pick you up a Stern.
Your mattress superstore.
Killing me, Larry!
The deals are insane this weekend. Stearns and Foster. I don't know the other brands. You know what they need to have a sale on is coffins.
Oh.
Because it would be more appropriate for Memorial.
Not a
like
mattress.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah, but let's get him some health care, okay? That's what I'm all here about.
On the VA.
That's America. Let's go home and drink some Coke Zeros. Pound them.
Take us out.
Open arms and willing hands, giving just to help her fellow man. That's America. Standing in defense of right, not afraid to give her all to fight. That's America.
Sometimes you play a game so mysterious you think, maybe I need to play something a little more relaxing, like a horror game. This is why today we're diving into the 7 most mysterious video games, Part 2, brought to you by Doomsday Last Survivors. If you're searching for something that isn't going to drive you crazy, Doomsday Last Survivors is the ultimate zombie adventure to keep you entertained for hours. Available on Android, iOS, and PC. Plus, it's free. Doomsday Last Survivors is a zombie survival strategy game set apart with the ability to alter your route at any time, sneak around enemy lines, or hide in the refuge of your allies with multiple styles of gameplay, as you customize shelters, recruit heroes, and train them to fight off endless waves of zombies in a realistic world. Stay tuned to the end of the video and don't miss how to win $500 cash in 2 easy ways, simply by playing the game, using my link in the description down below. Station.exe. Station.exe is... who the hell knows? Station.exe is a particularly strange mystery that's haunted many such as myself for years, that's only evaded this channel so far because I only recently remembered the name of it. Station.exe first appeared on the internet on 4chan sometime around 2013, when an anonymous user posted the file, saying they found it on a disc that came in a CD case they bought at a tech expo, with no explanation of what it was, and that they booted it up to find the single file Station.exe. Station.exe is a simple game where there isn't much to do except explore the environment, while ominous ambient noises play in the background. The station is mostly dark passages with rather basic geometry scattered around, which makes it all the more creepy when what the f is that thing? When these giant moon-looking faces randomly pop out to scare the hell out of you, and then immediately crash the game. The mystery goes even deeper than that, as it was discovered in the game on one of the walls were these letters and numbers, which were actually coordinates. The coordinates turned out to belong to what appears to be an abandoned diamond mine in Siberia that resembles the station seen in the game, although as of now, no one has traveled there and found if anything is actually there. Data miners ripped open the files of the game to reveal many more discoveries, both strange and outright sketchy, as they very eerily saw what appeared to be lots of disconnected references to the weapons discussion board in 4chan, as well as a link to a website called Semper Prodinum, which is no longer online and was a barren cryptic site with more references to the weapons board, and had most of its pages made inaccessible without a password, leaving the trail cold. The only remaining possibility at this point seems to be going to Siberia to check out the station itself, but since the area it's located in is currently prohibited, I'm not sure it's worth getting arrested over. Doesn't look like we'll be solving this one anytime soon. Who's Lila? Thanks to Oscar K for submitting this through oddheader.com. Who's Lila released on Steam in 2022 from Garage Heathen. Self-described as a reverse detective point-and-click adventure, Who's Lila is an unnerving game that looks like David Lynch directed a Game Boy title, in which you follow the unsettling character of William who doesn't know how to express emotion, thus requiring the player to click and drag his face into different expressions in order to advance the story. The game takes place after the disappearance of a girl named Tanya at Will's high school, where the player can take multiple routes as Will, navigating dreamlike environments as you piece together the mystery of what happened. The game is a trippy mess, where the explanation to the mystery seemingly changes depending on which of the 15 endings that you get, throwing everything at you from realistic explanations to psychedelic ideas and conspiracies about parallel realities, and the nature of consciousness, all of which could be connected. Despite completing all the endings, the game never fully answers a number of questions, like who the f is this dude called the Stranger, who shows up a number of times, or why the story devolves into a fixation on wheels. Players even found if they were to corrupt one of their save files, they'd be teleported to a strange environment where debug text can be seen in the corner of the screen. Walking around the environment, the player can find a number of unusual discoveries, but most interesting is a character named William, who lets you ask one question about the game, and then disappears forever, even if you reload the save file. So far, players have managed to find 10 questions that William will answer, though it's believed there's more questions to ask William that have never been found, with some in the Steam forums believing based on evidence in the data that there's at least one question that still hasn't been asked for William to answer. Oh, William. I just got that. Despite that question still not being found, no one's really getting their hopes up that it's going to answer anything. Unfortunately, as with most things in this game, more often than not, William's answers don't tend to make a lot of sense. Gaijin Karen G1. Kiss or Kill. Thanks to Edwin for submitting this mystery through oddheader.com. Gaijin Karen G1 Kiss or Kill is an unnerving descent into insanity. Released in 2019 on Xbox One and later on Steam, the game begins by letting you choose either love or hate as a playable character, and drops you into a series of retro arcade style levels where your objective is to shoot and avoid obstacles and to get to the finish line, while cheery music plays in the background. That lasts about a few seconds, as every act of destruction increases your negative karma, which devolves more more and more into chaotic hell, adding in gruesome obstacles, flashing lights, and full motion video of what appears to be a program.
And you, I am forsaken.
Programmer in a mask, reacting to your gameplay, slowly doing increasingly horrifying things to retro consoles, such as attaching a Game Boy to his arm and cutting open his stomach to insert the game. What in the f***? On one level, you can branch off the normal path and find yourself in a movie theater where you can watch the entirety of Night of the Living Dead, which due to a copyright error made in the 1960s is a public domain film, so I guess we can't say they stole it. Players can also switch to kiss mode at any time, which throws kisses at enemies rather than shooting them, but still doesn't dial down any of the insanity, with the game now accompanied by scantily clad anime girls in increasingly scandalous positions. At least it's better than this shit. The game continues to be interrupted by more disturbing absolute nonsense messages and batshit insane videos until you finally meet Saddam Hussein, surrounded by a crowd protesting violence in video games. What? And yes, you can either kill the dictator or send kisses to him for the achievement A Dictator Needs Love Too. I'm not sure about that one. Perhaps strangest of all is the story surrounding the game itself, as the developer Overgame Studio claims that development began in 1998 by Yoshiro Takahashi for the Dreamcast, but the project was scrapped when Sega discontinued the console. Then in 2017, Takahashi's son Yusuke picked the project up after his father's death and finished the game, although some believe this story isn't true. While the story is plausible, the psychopathic Michael Myers videos and anime girls definitely don't look like they're from 1998, and the seemingly creepypasta-inspired content didn't exist back then. However, these could have all been added by Yusuke to a game concept created and designed by his father, perhaps given his own interpretations to his father's ideas. After all, he does say in the credits he hoped to achieve the original meaning of his father's game, and I can't help but think this probably wasn't what he wanted. Unfortunately, this may be a mystery we'll never know the answer to, unless Sega or someone could confirm if Kiss or Kill was on a list of scrap projects for the Dreamcast. But considering the nature of this game, I wouldn't be surprised if they denied involvement either way. Germs, near War Itamaki. Thanks to Rebecca for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Germs Near War Itamaki, or Germs the Targeted City, is a first-person mystery adventure game released in 1999 for the PlayStation. Released only in Japan, it's one of the rarest PlayStation games of all time, and one that has baffled even its most dedicated fans. Right off the bat, Germs is unique from any other game, with rather disturbing cover art featuring a pile of nude, disfigured bodies that I'm gonna have trouble showing here. That's of course only where the weirdness begins, as you play as a reporter investigating the strange mutated creatures popping up in your hometown, and the mysterious glowing object that might have something to do with it. Germs takes place in this eerie, huge open world, with everything gray and mostly deserted, with equally eerie NPCs who strangely have actual photograph faces, or no face at all. Hajime the Fool on my Discord server points out this may be because the final release version of the game is said to be unfinished, as the developer KAJ closed down and is said to have not been able to finish the game before folding, possibly explaining why the buildings look like untextured models. As far as what we know, KAJ was an animation company and Germs was their first and only game, and featured a number of incredibly unique and ambitious gameplay mechanics for the time, such as a day and night cycle that changes what's accessible when, an elaborate bus and subway system, and the ability to drive a car around the open world. Also, whenever you kill one of these hideous monstrosities of glitchy polygonal mutants, you're shot with a psychic blast of their memories, which helps unravel the game's story. What's never been unraveled, however, is the mystery surrounding the hidden video on the game disc that shows an alien spaceship flying around another planet. It's unclear if this is the product of the game not being finished, or if it's another one of the countless things in the game that we just don't understand, especially considering there doesn't appear to be any real ending to the game that we know of, with the game seemingly continuing on endless continuously even after there's nothing left to do, as if the player's caught in some sort of odd purgatory. Fortunately, an English translation is underway for later this year, though based on how things went with Garage Bad Dream Adventure, don't get your hopes up for that translation making sense of anything. Microsoft Game Pass. Thanks to the Homefront Hunter, Hajime the Fool, and Fancy Yarnold for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord and Reddit. The Microsoft Store is a digital storefront for the Xbox game library, and while there's no mystery there, some odd things have been appearing on the storefront for the Xbox Game Pass program that have baffled the few players who have managed to spot them. Beginning as far back as 2019, Fancy Yarnold reported that they saw a strange game they don't remember the name of on Game Pass and tried to install it, which when they tried to play only presented a loading screen that went to about 80% and froze, but that they were able to control the progress of the loading bar with their right thumbstick, only for the game to never fully load and to be deleted from both the store and their download history the next day. Yarnold remembers the words circuit and breaker being in the title, although a game with that title does exist, and looks nothing like what they saw back in 2019. Fortunately, a few players have managed to actually capture evidence of similar discoveries that give credence to Yarnold's story. In July of 2022, Phantom Ghost 491 on YouTube caught that a game labeled as a test app showed up on the store, with an illustration of a die as the cover art. Phantom Ghost decided to risk whatever the test app was hiding and downloaded it from the store, which when launched only gave him the message, "Dice says hello," and when he pressed the only option, View Dice Package in Store, it simply took him back to the store page where he originally downloaded the title. Fun game. Then in September of 2022, Homefront Hunter reported finding perhaps the most interesting unexplained game found in Game Pass yet, with the image for the game on the store page just being a carton of Ben & Jerry's half-baked ice cream. Homefront Hunter was actually able to install and play the game, and like the title suggested, was a half-baked game with the only objective being to hit all the targets in a certain order before time runs out, and not long after that, the game mysteriously disappeared from the store as well. Well, make sure to get Game Pass now if you haven't already. With amazing games like these, you're not going to want to be missing out. Strawberry Cubes. Thanks to Rebecca for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Strawberry Cubes is a platformer released in 2015 for Windows and Mac by game creator Lauren Smith. Smith offers very little information about the game or how it works, dropping players into a cryptic 16-bit red, black, and white environment as a small girl, offering only a README file that explains a few simple controls and the advice to try pressing other keys, get a cup of tea, and draw a map. The game is a distorted mess, glitching out and falling apart at the seams at any given time, which usually leads to the game crashing entirely. Despite this, using glitches to your advantage appears to be one of the only ways to progress through the game, other than mashing keys, as there isn't a fixed set of controls and pressing random keys can do an assortment of different things, such as opening up hidden areas of the environment, making walls disappear, and spawn unexplainable things such as chickens who shoot laser beams from their butts. The game does give obtuse hints about what keys to press when you acquire a new ability, but is never clear about when you've received these abilities. The only clear mechanic is the ability to collect seeds, which can be planted to grow tall flowers the players can climb to reach new areas, though it's unclear what direction you're supposed to go in. And to help matters, every time you revisit an area, it completely changes on you. There's also these purple icons scattered across the game that every time you collect one, teleports you to a room with a red woman inside. At the top of the screen is the only form of a progress tracker anyone has surmised, as the number represents your number of purple icons collected and each corresponding individual icon you found. It's still unknown how many purple icons there are to find and if anything happens when they're all collected, as it's also still unknown if the game even has an ending. The only explanation that anyone has is that the game isn't supposed to make sense, as Smith revealed in an interview that she made Strawberry Cubes as an interpretation of a relationship with her grandmother, who had Alzheimer's disease, which could make the unnerving nature of the game more morbid than it appears, if it is meant to portray the difficulty of navigating the world for those who have Alzheimer's. Though laser-ass chickens, still a bit confused about that one. Poop Slinger. Yeah, Poop Slinger. Thanks to Lena for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Poop Slinger is an actual game released in 2018 on Steam and PlayStation 4 by the indie developer Diggity.net. While you can buy a digital copy of Poop Slinger right now if you feel inclined, there is also a physical PlayStation 4 release of the game that will set you back $20,000, as it's the rarest PlayStation 4 release of all time. That's right, a game called Poop Slinger is $20,000. Of course, you may be wondering, why? And that's where shit gets real weird. The physical copy was released by Limited Rare Games, which is definitely not to be confused with Limited Run Games, the popular publisher of limited collector's editions of games. Limited Rare, however, appeared to only exist to confuse the marketplace into thinking it was Limited Run, even used in the exact font for its logo. Limited Run told publication Video Games 24/7 they had nothing to do with Limited Rare, and that they had asked them to change their logo. Not much is known about Limited Rare even by Poopslinger's developers Diggity, who said the publisher approached them months before Poopslinger's release, offering to put out a physical copy of the game on April 1st of that year, and said after a contract, a QA test from Sony and a payout, they never heard from them again. And judging by the date April 1st, made many suspicious of whether the whole thing was an April Fool's joke or not, which I wouldn't know anything about. The sales page also seemed to be a joke, with Hard